Good morning and welcome to this regular County Commissioners meeting. The recess has ended. Today's Monday, October the 20th, and we'll have the prayer led by Mr. Poling with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Stewart. If you would stand.
Lord Jesus, we come to you this day. We ask you to unify us, lead us, guide us in your will. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Please join me and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll move on to the approval of claims. We have claims dated 10/14 of 2025. Pre-approval was given 10/14 of 2025. We have the general fund, $161,227.49. Other, $175,057.57. Highway, $118,517.76. The grand total is $454,802.82. Are there any questions or comments? If not, entertain a motion for ratification.
So moved.
A second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to ratify claims dated 10/14/2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to claims dated 10/20 of 2025. General fund, $222,139.46. Other, $395,417.92. The highway, $10,299.61. Brings a grand total of $627,856.99. If there's no questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the checks dated 10/20/2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I believe that's all. Is that correct?
Payroll, other than payroll. Yeah.
We'll move on to payroll. Payroll number 21. Pre-approval was given 10/7 of 25. The pay date was 10/10 of 25. The gross amount was $683,988.02. There's no questions or comments. I entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve payroll number 21.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve payroll number 21. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no minutes, is that correct? Do we have we received any monthly reports?
No, sir.
Are there any communication updates, communications from elected officials or any special boards or special committees in the room? Not seeing any. We'll move on to the EMA report.
Nothing this time.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the central dispatch report.
Kevin's on vacation
as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll move on to IT report.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Yep. Just wanted to provide you with a few updates here. So we worked with Central Dispatch a few weeks ago, and we was able to test the new admin line system and verify that's all working. So now we're ready to port the numbers over from the old system, which is on AT&T, over to Sangoma. So I'm going to get that process started, which usually takes about 30 days. So once we get all that moved over, I'll be able to shut off that internet connection in that SIP trunk. So that should save us some money per month. The next update is in regards to the elevator communications. So we had a tech come out on site and he did a survey of all the elevators and he looked at them and everything. So the next step is he's going to order the equipment. So once we get the equipment in, we'll be able to schedule time to get that installed and get all those up.
Is that already contracted out though?
What's that?
Wasn't that phone thing already contracted out to J&J and now you had to switch?
No, so it was initially all through AT&T through the old analog system, but since the old analog system is no more, we have to get them onto a new system. So
Phone line's not electrical. J&J's
yeah,
electrical.
Yeah, but I thought we were waiting on the phones to be hooked up in the elevators. Over at 911, that's what they're waiting on.
yes, correct. So we're just waiting on the equipment to come in, then they can get that one up and running. So that's the update on that. And then we have the new computer deployment. We've completed putting the new computers in for the sheriff's department, the jail, probation, community corrections, and we started out in the courthouse, and I think we got the prosecutor's office done. So our next targets we're looking to get done is the courts and the recorder's office. We was working with their vendor to install their software and everything on it. So now we got those all ready. So those are the next targets we're looking at on that. And,
Marcus, I know you told me, so I apologize, but
Yeah.
what are we doing with the old equipment?
So I think the current plan right now is just to recycle them all. I know we were looking into having an auction. I don't know if that'd be something that,
We didn't want anybody to take a chance of missing something.
Right, yeah.
That's why we said recycle.
yeah, I think that was what we ultimately decided. Because we were looking into alternatives, but
I know there's been some conversation about the monitors.
yeah.
And so could we open that up to, maybe an online auction or something?
Yeah, I think we'd be okay with the monitors.
Just the money, yeah, but it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Or if there was a non-for-profit, I believe
Right,
we could
needed them.
transfer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with that too.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so like I said, we'll hang on to the newer monitors and stuff that we do have that we can, dish those out at a later time. The only other item I have for you gentlemen, I wasn't able to submit it into your packets, was the updated Office 365. So this is the new agreement for the email system. So usually the way that is, it's like an annual commitment and we just pay for it per month. And it did go up a little bit by about $400 or $500, so it's about $5,000 or $6,000 increase per year, which that should be fine in my contractual services budget. So I wasn't sure, since I just gave it to you gentlemen, if you wanted to take a look at it and we can look at approving it at the next commissioner meeting, or if you guys felt comfortable with it, you would want to move forward with it today. So I just wanted to put that in front of you.
Did you say you pay this monthly?
Correct, yes.
Is this the lease agreement or is this just like a quote?
Yeah, it's just a quote.
And this is for all the Office 365 licenses?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
So like all the app licenses, all the emails, all that stuff.
And the apps are on what, iPads or
It's on the computers.
on the computers? Okay.
Mhm, yep.
Will we see it, like, when I go in to check my email, will we see a change in anything?
Nope. No, so they told me the reason for the increase was the cloud storage. So I guess the cost of that went up a little bit. It's not like everything else stayed the same.
And so on the lease agreement, since we don't have that, it'll basically just be $76,053.84 divided by 12.
Yeah, because we pay for it monthly.
But they're not charging like any interest or anything like that.
No.
We don't need that, do we, Office 360?
Well, I don't know, people's emails might stop flowing if we don't pay on that one, so.
Is there a sense of urgency on this at all?
No, I mean, because they're basically, we're not getting the partner rate now, is what I was told, because I guess the other one expired like a month ago, so it went up a little bit. So with this, they were able to get it down to the $6,300 a month with their discount, because they're a partner with Microsoft.
Presidio is.
Yeah, so it's not gonna hurt anything, so they already credited us for the additional that got put on our last bill. So, I mean, if you guys wanna think about it, I can revisit at the next meeting, since it's last minute.
And since you handed it out, I'm assuming you're good with everything.
Yeah, because nothing's really changing, it's just the price went up a little bit.
I'm okay with it if you guys
Yeah,
are.
I'm fine with it. Can we just make sure we audit the license numbers and like try to focus on if there's licenses we really don't need, just,
Yeah.
just focus on making sure we're getting the best,
Yeah,
bang for our buck,
absolutely.
and then we don't have a bunch of extra licenses on computers that are just,
Right. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can give you a list of what licenses are assigned to who, because we basically pick and choose, so there's different levels to it. So you can assign somebody just an email license, then they also have a different license where it has the email and the office combined. And that also has this cloud storage on it as well. So we only give that out to a few people, because a lot of people are just 9 to 5. They just come in and work. They don't take their stuff home with them. So we try to limit that down to the folks who, work from home a lot and work on the road. So,
I'm okay with it. I would like for Mr. Harker to take a look at the contract, the lease agreement and the contract when we get that. But I'd be okay with approving it subject to Mr. Harker's review.
that motion.
That's a motion, yes, sir.
I'll second it.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poland to approve the Presidio quote for Office 365 pending the attorney approval. Are there any other questions from the members? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
that's all I have, gentlemen. Do you have anything else for me? Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Yep, thank you. Next item, Highway Department report, Mr. White.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
First thing I was gonna do is, got another official detour from the state of Indiana, from NDOT. This one is for the location State Road 18, State Road 13 out by Oak Hill High School. They're gonna redo the bridge deck over the railroad crossing for Kokomo Grain. If you remember the last time we had this area closed, it destroyed all the roads out there because basically we had two state roads going two different directions through the town of Muir. So I got in this time to get both locations taken care of. So it'll go from State Road 18 clear to basically Converse, where it comes back straight onto 18 there. And then it'll go from State Road 13 by Oak Hill Administration to the north end of State Road 13. So I got both of them added this time. So I'd like to have your approval for that if you're all right with that. I believe it's only a 30 or 60 or 90 day closure this time. So
Is there a motion to approve the unofficial detour?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the unofficial detour regarding the 18 and 13 overpass deck. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You gotta sign this, Dave.
yes, or you three gentlemen did. The next thing I was gonna bring up is all the community crossing number 1, 2025 has been completed, the line striping, all that's been done. So we'll just wait for the invoice and then we'll close out that 2 different location projects. Hopefully this week I'll have all the paperwork submitted for the community crossing for 2026 for the 3 bridges that we're looking at doing. So hopefully I'll have that all done by the end of this week. So last week we hauled in all of our sand for our winter maintenance program. We've got that all stockpiled, about 900 ton. That's what we brought in, so that'll be ready for that. And I thought I was gonna get another quote on truck chassis last week, but I did not receive one, so I only have one right now, so I'll have to wait till I get another one to bring it to you, so. That's all I have, unless you gentlemen have anything.
Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. He's gonna get that back, second page on. We'll move on to old business. The first item under old business, the EMS bid decision. And so after careful review, being the second time we bid this project out, it's still over our maximum price point that the commissioners really want to spend as far as a building regarding the EMS. And so we're going to go back to the drawing board on that and try to maybe do it in phases. And so we'll be working probably with another committee again to try to figure out what is the best approach to get the classrooms and the trainings and things for the EMS building. We did get a 6-month extension on the insurance funds. Mr. Harker
Yes.
could talk to that.
Yeah, so we've been given 6 months, I believe, from end of August. So we just need a motion to reject the bid.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to reject all the bids for the EMS building. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 2 under old business, the ALPR Ordinance. We're still working on that ordinance, and so we're just going to go ahead and, it's currently tabled, so there's no action needed. So we'll move on to the third item under old business, item 3, BCS Management with their final report. And I believe they're here for a presentation. Good morning.
Thank you, honorable commissioners. This is going to be a challenge. I have 111 pages to summarize in 5 minutes, and there's more supporting documentation behind that. So I'm going to do my best to be brief, and I will read these comments so that I am, and then we'll open up for questions. So this is my BCS management project presentation to the Grant County Commissioners for the I-69 State Route 26 interchange exit 255 infrastructure feasibility study. So I just want to thank, to start, President Shane Middlesworth, Chuck Poling, and Ron Stewart, Grant County Commissioners, for the opportunity to serve in my home county here. This report was made possible by a lot of folks, including input from these key stakeholders: Brad Bookout, Augusta Consulting, Todd Delancey of the Area Plan Commission, the various municipal leaders, utility directors, and engineers from Gas City, Fairmount, Upland, Ballerton, Matthews, who all provided critical data, and then INDOT, AEP, Vectren, Centerpoint, Enbridge, and other essential contributors who I needed to help me to do this. So the background and context is that the study is supposed to assess, the goal was to assess the existing infrastructure, what's there at that site, the I-69 State Route 26 interchange, calling it exit 255 to keep it short, just to help inform the community leaders about the feasibility and high level costs of those improvements if you were to want to attract site selectors and stimulate investment. I know it was in draft form, I know it's still working out, but the comp plan includes that area as a growth area for land use purposes. our primary focus was on water, wastewater, and electrical power because those were known issues, just known that those were likely to be weaknesses of the site. So the key findings are that the strengths of the site are you've got all that transportation access. You got an interstate, you got a state route, and you've got a Class 1 freight rail that's not too far away. It's in Fairmount. And then there are high capacity utility corridors there. There's a high voltage overhead line that runs, it kind of dissects and bisects the interchange there. You've driven under them many times, I'm sure. And then there's actually a tremendous amount of natural gas available there because the Gas City compressor station serves a Texas to Northeast transmission line. So it's a feeder line, but you could power a 50,000 person city with that site. It's extremely high capacity. Limitations are that the nearby electrical substations that are available already have about 7 to 8 megawatts of power available. That is a lot for homes or for typical commercial developments. It's just if you were to need a very high capacity, large user, say a typical one over 10 megawatts, you just wouldn't have enough right there on hand. And then there is, so again, I mentioned those high volume transmission lines for natural gas. There is a typical commercial line that's not too far away. It's 1.25 miles. Again, it costs to extend, but it's not onerous or impossible to do that. The critical gap is the fact that the water and wastewater there is zero. So you have to either go from a nearby municipality or develop on-site systems. So as we drilled down into that analysis about water, wastewater, we looked at these key 4 scenarios based on our initial findings to really figure out what's this going to cost, what are the benefits, what are the risks. So the first scenario for wastewater was doing on-site systems and county-owned, county-operated. We then looked at, for wastewater, what if we, instead of trying to do treatment, just run a line to the Gas City wastewater system. That would be Gas City providing wastewater treatment. For water, we looked at 2 scenarios, which was Fairmount, who has, I got to sit down with their team and their town council, the utility liaison there. They were very helpful, providing a lot of information. Their water system is strong. So we could do that. It would still require a water tower. Fairmount could supply water. And then the second solution would be, instead of spending the cost to run the extension, you still got to build a water tower, but you could create a well field that would be owned and operated by the county there on site. So we looked at all those scenarios and considered all the various factors involved, and so I want to present the recommendations we have and again take questions. So to prepare the site for development, we're going to recommend that you go with the most scalable, like pay-as-you-grow approach that's really centered on the county controlling and operating those systems so they can be most cost-effective to start and then grow with the opportunity as site selectors and others are interested. So the first would be then building that on-site wastewater package plant. Again, cuts down on collection system. You just need to sewer the area wherever there are businesses or homes that are developed, and to do that would save about $3 million rather than running a main all the way to the 5 miles to Gas City to pass treatment to them. And then of course you have there's cost either way, but it's either you're paying Gas City to treat or you're treating. So with the kind of system that we recommend in the report, movable bed, film reactor, those are very scalable. They're very modular. There's a lot of customizability in those systems that you can build. For water, we're recommending that you go with develop on-site phased well field, so you can, again, start with what you really need and then start building more well heads as you need them to pay as you grow. Again, Fairmount is still a very viable, feasible option to connect there and have them provide water supply. You need a water tower either way for both, for pressure. And then finally, so how much does this cost? It is expensive. One of the reasons that we've identified as a risk factor and that everyone who's familiar with municipal political goings-ons right now would know, but the ARPA inflation has been significant. So everyone's trying to spend their money by the end of next year. So that's driving up engineering, driving up construction, driving up everything. So don't be surprised by that. But the estimated high-level investment is between $7.9 million and $11.4 million to do this. So the midpoint would be 9.7. So it's roughly $10 million to get these sites ready so that you'd have site selectors interested, because then you have all the essential infrastructure that you would need. So the immediate next steps, the next 6 months, if the commissioners or the county leaders were to decide that they wanted to pursue investment, making the site ready for use, the first would be to hold listening sessions to go and Fowlerton, Upland, Fairmount, Matthews, Gas City, and get feedback from the various stakeholders, landowners, people who are going to be impacted by this significant change, if you're going to do that. Then encourage rezoning. So right now there's only like a very small parcel zone for anything but agriculture at the site. So you would have to, we would want to encourage people to be proactive in rezoning their property, which won't impact their taxes until the land is changed in use. So however you use the land is what determines the assessed value. And then the third thing would be to launch this, it could be called two different things, Grant County Regional Sewer District or Grant County Regional Utility District, depending on how you wanted to phrase it, but essentially a corporate structure that could own and operate those utilities that the county would develop, and then establishing at the same time an economic development area, and then tax increment funded district, financing districts, so a TIP district to be able to fund that build out and the repayment of likely the bonds that would pay for the infrastructure that you would develop there. So those are the four recommended next steps at the start of this 3-year plan that we've laid out that you could pursue if the county felt it was the right investment for the county. So thanks. I'm happy to take any questions.
Well, I appreciate your work and your ability to study the site. And if we was to move to, like you said, option 1, which would be holding listening sections, I think that'd be a great opportunity to hear what, the people of those areas actually would, like to see or not like to see. And so I think, was that something your company would be willing to facilitate, or?
Yeah, we handle a lot of PR and owner's rep services for municipalities, so that's one of those things, right? Going in, doing that groundwork with communities.
Well, absolutely. And so I think would be, the next step in this process. So, Mr. Bookout, would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, I just want to thank BCS and Christopher for doing the work, and it is our recommendation on your behalf that you engage with the next step of listening session of people in the area. I think that's a critical step that needs to happen. As you know, the County Redevelopment Commission, simultaneous to this, has initiated the economic development area, so it's time for public input right now. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Chris, this might be kind of a weird question, but for the sewer and the wastewater piece of it, would that add any, would we have to hire anybody to work that specifically?
I'd recommend contracting it. So I don't think it would be W-2. I would work with, there's a team out of Hartford City that's very good, already serving Fowlerton and Matthews. I'd recommend, they're already running every day through that site.
Okay.
They can operate the plant. They could, at least from a wastewater perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could even potentially, if you weren't connecting directly to Fairmount's system, there's a possibility they could contract to help operate and maintain the well field and the tower and things like that, because they're already doing that for their own system.
Right.
Yeah.
Great question. I mean, contracted out probably cheaper.
Yeah, for sure.
Having experts in the field, I guess.
Yeah. Sure.
And I would just add that it's extremely difficult to get a good certified operator. So if you can get one, that's great. And for something like this, yeah, contract, they're going to have time with it's not a full-time job probably, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you want to open it up for questions from the public now? That's why I'm hang out at the end.
I'd say we was
Do it now.
Yeah. if there, we'll just go ahead and entertain some public comments now, if they want to ask any questions, or to you, I guess. So if anybody from the public wants to ask.
And I can repeat your question into the mic, you don't have to come up here.
Not hearing any.
Oh, I have a question. Hi. Is this study posted somewhere?
Not as of yet.
Not as of yet. I would assume we're gonna make it available on the county's website.
Yeah. Just that we can put up there.
Great question. Are there any other questions?
Thanks for all your work, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Was he 5 minutes?
I think you ran over a
I
little
didn't
bit.
keep track.
Sorry.
We'll move on to new business. Item number 1 on our new business, area plan, fee ordinance, and comprehensive plan.
We'll start with the fee ordinance, if that's okay. Good morning, Commissioners. So the proposal is the 5-year update to Appendix A, the area plan fee schedules. And the area-wide zoning ordinance, this update is required by the ordinance itself, which says the fee schedule should be reviewed every 5 years and adjusted by the same percentage as the county's assessed valuation. So this update should have been completed in 2023, not 2025, so we're about 7 years out instead of 5. And, that's not a reflection of anyone here. In fact, this puts the record back in line for the current Board of Commissioners. So this is about catching up the system to where it should be already. So the county's net evaluation between 2018 and 2024 was 27.8%, and these fees all represent that 27.8% increase. There was a few other minor adjustments and clarity that was made within the schedule. A demolition permit is supported within the ordinance, but wasn't laid out within the appendix. Planned unit development is described within the ordinance, but was not included in the table, and now it is. For new home, basically it did not have a price per square foot. And so now it's a base of $192 plus 13 cents per square foot with a maximum of $320. Removed the old solar fees that was in the table because those fees are represented for large scale commercial solar in the new ordinance that passed this spring. And updated some of the fine language to reflect the limit that's allowed by Indiana State Code 36138. So this update follows the process that's laid out in state law, and a public hearing for the Area Plan Commission was held, a recorded vote recommending this adoption, and now your consideration is a legislative body. So it's a housekeeping step, and it is ready for your approval. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Any
No,
questions?
absolutely. Have you reviewed the fee ordinance? And we'll have to have 2 since we're raising taxes. 2 hearings.
sorry?
We'll have to have about 2 hearings, or?
No, I believe it's one hearing, and then it has to be published.
Right, so it was a public hearing.
You had a public hearing.
I have a public hearing at the
It's
Okay.
published that. Yeah, we need to open it up.
So what's the ordinance number? 15. Are there any questions or comments from the members? ordinance number 15, and this ordinance has had a public hearing from the APC. It's coming to us for final approval. It raises the fees that the area plan is allowed to charge for various things. It raises it per statute, IC code 27.
0.8%, 27%, yeah.
So moved.
I second Commissioner Poland's motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve ordinance 15. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? I'll go ahead and open this one up for public comment as well, since we're sure. If you are from the public and want to make a public comment, come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. I'll allow 2 minutes. Not seeing anyone. Mr. Creech?
Yes. I just want to say that I appreciate all the work that was done. I was at the APC meeting and they did a really good job with all that. My only comment that I gave when I was there is to maybe put that in to review it so it doesn't get so far behind, but all the ever-changing things that you're wanting to do with just the project before and all that, just to continue to update that and with the technology and the scope of things and the land use, to maybe set a time period in a certain month that it automatically comes up that, hey, we need to review this, or at least have a discussion about it. That's all I would say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Creech.
Are there any other public comments? Okay, I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we'll move on to the comprehensive plan.
Thank you. And
This is Kleinpeter.
All right, good morning, commissioners and public. Mike Kleinpeter Consulting Group. We were the grant administration firm that assists the county in securing a grant from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. This is our second and final public hearing regarding the comprehensive planning grant. Legal notice was advertised on October 4th in the Chronicle Tribune. There are 2 sign-in sheets going around the room today. Those are for grant purposes. I have to turn those in for the grant. The county was awarded a planning grant from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs last year in the amount of $60,000. The county contributed $7,500 in local funds from the general fund. Through a request for qualification procurement process, Taylor Seifert Williams was selected to work on the plan. With us today are representatives with Taylor Seifert Williams to talk about the comprehensive plan and the process that was conducted. Also with us today is Lindsay Hammond, sitting in the back corner in the tan shirt. She is the community liaison for Okra, and she approved the plan. So she's with us today, so I just wanted to give her a quick shout out because I know she did work hard on that. So with that, I'll turn it over to the Taylor Seifert Williams team.
Good morning. As Mike said, my name is Sam Weiser with Taylor Seifert Williams Design Group. I am the project manager on this. Unfortunately, Scott Seifert was unavailable. He's over in Terre Haute this morning. But with me also is Matt Pytel. He is one of our community planners on the group. Today, I'm just going to walk through the planning process as well as some of the outcomes that came from this plan. Like I said, just recap the planning process, kind of give a reintroduction of how the plan is organized, as well as highlight some of the plan priorities and the next steps. So with the planning process, one of the big things is like, what are we even here for? What's our kind of big question? Why have we all gathered in these various rooms? What are kind of the questions and goals of this comprehensive plan? And it's really, where is Grant County today, and where does Grant County want to go, and how do we get there? What are the steps? Who are the people that need to be involved, and how are we actually going to achieve some of these larger goals? With that though, we have to take a step back a little bit to look at what is the comprehensive plan, what does Indiana statute have to include within it. That is your future land use plan, your communities and facilities, as well as your transportation and utility impacts. However, OPRA requires an additional kind of broader look. We're trying to be comprehensive with it. So they have outlined 13 key elements that have to have some sort of representation within the comprehensive plan. Some of them are a little bit more in-depth, depending on that specific location's focus. Others can be a little bit more high level if that element doesn't really have the largest impact. Either way, all 13 have to be included within it, and in totality, that then creates your comprehensive plan. Looking at, at the end of the day, what do you get from it? What do you get from this grant? Deliverable-wise, you get a demographic analysis. So that's looking at your people, your market, what kind of housing opportunities you have, your economic impact, and kind of, again, where is Grant County today? And then in your second part, in that development, plan development, that's where your visions are. What are people's big ideas, and how are we then going to get there using your implementation plans? That's where your action steps are, your partners, and your quote-unquote how-tos. Within the engagement process, we had a wide variety of engagement, but just at the basis, we had our steering committees that met for each of our planned phases, as well as our public engagement. Some of our public engagement, just to highlight, since this was a full entire Grant County aspect, we had our steering committee that was more your larger leaders, but we also met with 6 of the communities throughout the county in our community conversations. So kind of harkening back to some of our other things, these communities are very engaged, and they kind of already have their organization pattern lined up for what some of those future community conversations could be that you guys could tap into, as well as they are really excited about some of even the topics that we've already discussed today. So they are packed in with the open houses, as well as 2 of our public surveys that we had. Some of the things that we heard, though, was that they were very proud of their cultural heritage, their farming heritage, and they wanted to make sure that even though they want this new development to happen in certain areas, they want it to be strategic. They want to know exactly where things are going in and how can we keep with those development patterns, not just plopping down in the middle of a field that doesn't have any development around it. Let's be strategic where those transportation corridors are going, as well as some of those development patterns, and that factored into some of our land use and economic development visioning and goals with that. But they also had a very strong pride in their local community, and that kind of went into some of our placemaking, some of their more homestead grassroots kind of events that are happening, and wanting to, how can we get the county involved in some of those events and tourism aspects. Looking at now just the plan organization, how do we read this plan itself? It is a little bit beefier than a standard comp plan when it comes to our 13 organizations. But you have 4 chapters. So your first chapter, your elevator pitch, your executive summary, that pretty much is what this presentation is right now. Your second chapter, that's your background. So again, where is Grant County today? That's your economic analysis, that's your demographic analysis, as well as some of your physical conditions. Chapter 3 is the real beef of it. That's where all of your 13 plan elements are that have, that's chapter 4. Chapter 3 is your steering committee, apologies. So this is that high level group that met throughout the planning process and was our kind of first stab, gut check for all of our different elements with it and what their role was and their summaries. And then your 4th, your analysis by subject matter. That's where your 13 OCRA comments or OCRA elements are included. I'm just going to walk through just an example spread that's in the document, just so you can kind of get an orientation of what this looks like, and this is repeated throughout all of the subject matter. So arbitrarily, I just grabbed the transportation one, but at the beginning of each subject matter, you're going to have your existing conditions. So this is whatever is the base for that. In this case, the existing conditions for the transportation. First, look at the functional classifications. So what are your existing functional classifications? What are your traffic counts? What are kind of some of your road conditions and things like that. Depending on the subject matter, it will either have a map or maybe a photo inventory, for example, your housing, or any sort of community event photo, like in your placemaking, some sort of graphic to kind of correspond with it. Next up, in every gray panel, that's where you're going to have your community engagement. So anytime anybody said something about this topic, that's where we kind of summarized it and cataloged. It's not a direct quotation from whatever that comment was, that's in your appendix, but it's just going through and catalyzing which, did we talk about this subject in the steering committee? Did it come up in any of the public surveys or any of the public meetings? And those highlights from that public engagement process. Then your next section is going to be your recommendation narrative. So any additional kind of best practice narratives or graphics, we think that will help kind of fully understand what this goal is, what this strategy is, fold out into it. And then your fourth going to be your blue panels. That's where your vision is. What's the lofty kind of overall vision statement for each of these 13 plan elements. Your last spreads are going to be your measurable goals and strategies, and then who and what kind of timeline are each of these goals going to be. So if you have this measurable strategy, I want to have blank number of new jobs by 40 years from now. That's your kind of measurable strategy for it. Okay, how are you going to actually do that? Who is going to be a part of this conversation? What kind of funding sources could potentially be available, and what is that timeline? Is this a long-term goal? I would say for the 30-40 year mark. Or is this kind of a short-term goal? This is something we can accomplish in the next 5 years or so. So those two spreads kind of go with each other when it comes to this roadmap of how are we going to establish that vision for each of the elements. So each of the 13 have this kind of 6 elements for it, but Matt is going to walk through what those high priorities are for the plan elements.
All right, so chapter 4, where we discuss all of our high priority items here. Just make sure I get the right spot here. It's organized into a vision statement for each of the 13 goals. So we're going to go through each 13. There's a vision statement, and then there are goals underneath those 13 items, as well as measurable strategies. So in total, there are 71 goals and 97 strategies. 36 of them are high priorities. In the interest of time, I'm only going to discuss those high priority items, as well as a couple of edits that we received for the APC. So on Thursday evening, we had a APC meeting where, and Todd, correct me if my language is off here, but there was a favorable recommendation for approval contingent on 4 items, 4 edits, and those edits have been made now. And I will point those out as we go through. 3 of those edits are in this chapter. The 4th edit is just, there was just a typo on the exact number of members of the APC board, so that has been fixed now. And here are our 13 topics. So I'm just going to go kind of briefly through each of these and discuss the high priority items under each one. So start with land use. So in our high priority items are those red highlighted ones here. The goal statement is to encourage infill, revitalization, and context-sensitive development in existing communities to maintain and enhance community character. And those high priority items there are just about sort of protecting environmentally sensitive and agricultural areas that are maybe not appropriate for development, and updating some zoning ordinances to incorporate standards that are maybe more, I guess, appropriate for what Grant County would like to see for its future. And there's 2 more here. It's to update land use regulations again, making sure we're evaluating them every year, or regularly, at least every 5 years. And encouraging preservation of agricultural and local business. On to the second topic here, government and fiscal capacity. The goal statement is to maintain and grow the community through fiscally responsible decisions and the ability of local towns to support growth. And, oh, my apologies, I gotta go back to land use here. Sorry, these last couple here are some of the edits from the APC. So there's a slight, so we added on at the end of goal number 8 there, to evaluate potential large consumers of utilities and their effect on ratepayers. And number 8 is an entirely new goal. Protect existing land use patterns from encroachment of incompatible uses and minimize conflicts between land uses, preserve general welfare, including property values throughout the jurisdiction, and enhance community character. Okay, now to government and fiscal capacity. Our high priority goals here are about increasing the capacity for economic developments, improving opportunities for local collaboration between county and the towns in the county, and acknowledging, encouraging sort of new economic development programs. And this goal, this number 7 under our topic number 2 here is the new one as well. Is a new edit from the APC on Thursday. And that's actually it for the edits for this section, so we'll just go on now to topic 3. Public facilities and services. Provide adequate public facilities and services that will meet basic needs and improve quality of life. So there's a lot of high priority items under this one. Kind of about just providing high quality public safety, making sure that any gaps or needs are filled in local departments, especially for EMS and police, fire, sort of first responders. And work with school districts to develop sort of workforce training programs and make sure that they can meet any future needs that they may have. Number 4, our topic number 4 is placemaking. Just create places that are meaningful, compelling, and reflect the unique identity and cultural heritage of Grant County. So our high priority goals under here are about arts and culture. So creating a countywide branding and making sure that that's unified throughout the entire county. And again, working with school systems to make sure they can meet their future needs, especially as schools kind of help out with sort of attracting populations through placement. Excuse me. Topic number 5 is economic development. Promote a balanced and diverse economy. These high priority initiatives focus a little bit on making sure that we are sort of reviewing any potential developments, especially for brownfield sites or industrial development, and consider which ones do or shouldn't have any sort of incentives, or maybe want to attract certain things or whatnot. And make sure we're working with cities and towns in the county to make sure that they also have the capacity to carry out their economic development initiatives. And our next topic is housing. Provide a diverse range of housing for citizens that promote sustainable, livable, and affordable housing opportunities. So these high priority goals are about implementing development regulations and density bonuses, making sure that we can attract housing in the county, especially in the areas where it's appropriate and needed. And then continuing to review and revise those ordinances and regulations to make sure that they are keeping up with trends and sort of doing their job in attracting and building appropriate and safe housing. Topic number 7 is transportation. Provide a safe, efficient, and interconnected transportation system. So our 3 high priority items here in those first 3. Developing a thoroughfare plan, making sure we're keeping up with improvements and repairs of county roads, and identifying areas where we might see some growth, and make sure that the roads and infrastructure in those areas can handle that growth. Topic number 8 is agriculture. Ensure the protection and preservation of prime agricultural lands. And so these are sort of maybe a little more geared towards land use regulations, sort of reviewing where specific ordinances and regulations can make sure that agricultural lands are protected, and because we only want to sort of make sure that development is going where it's planned for, it's appropriate, and where it's responsible. And yes, sort of same thing here, except we have a little bit on encouraging livestock production where conditions are appropriate, and regulating the locations of solar energy facilities. Topic number 9 is natural resources, provide adequate protection for and enhance stewardship of environmental resources in sensitive areas. And these high priority items are about sort of leveraging natural resources for tourism and making sure that we have a quality sort of plan to protect resources, especially the resources that attract people for camping or outdoor recreation. And topic number 10 is parks and recreation. Ensure the parks and recreation offerings remain relevant to meet the recreation needs of the population. So our high priority items here are about working with IDNR on specific facilities. Maybe they can grant funding. It just kind of depends on what you are planning for. And working with local municipalities and recreational organizations to enhance recreation across the county. And we also have another sort of number 4 there, which is about sort of closing the gap in the Cardinal Greenway there on the southern end of the county, south of Jonesboro, whether that be on a road, or maybe along the river. Next topic is broadband access. Aim to eliminate broadband access gaps in the county by expanding infrastructure and implementing digital literacy programs to promote equitable internet usage. So our high priority items here are just about making sure that we are present on digital platforms, that there's social media, that the county website is consistently updated, which I believe you guys are already doing pretty well on, and encouraging the installation of infrastructure, especially in areas that are underserved. All right, and we have historic and archaeological resources, which is topic number 12. Enhance the county's rich rural and cultural heritage through land preservation and historic preservation efforts. So these high priority items are about leveraging historic assets, making sure they are protected, and that they are up to date and attracting populations for tourism and such. And our final topic is hazard mitigation. Proactively plan, review, and implement emergency preparedness that reduce the risk to personal and property hazards and allows for timely information distribution during emergencies. We don't have any high priority items here, but that's mostly because these are really ongoing items that I'd say you guys are already doing pretty well on, and just generally, these are going to be very consistently just moving forward. There's always something to be aware of. So I'll go ahead and pass it back now to Sam to talk about our next steps as we move forward and wrap up the presentation.
Yeah, so why I'm here today is not only to see all your shining faces, but also to get the resolution signed adopting the plan. But before we get into that, just want to again highlight what our final deliverables are. The county will receive a PDF copy of the plan itself. It is more graphic format that can be posted online, as well as receive a Word document that it's just the words themselves, not any of the photos or graphics or things like that for any sort of verbiage kind of, moving forward for the APC to utilize in any of the kind of updates for moving forward, as well as 6 hard copies. These will be book bound that can be placed in various locations, as well as be able to be used by the public. So after, once we get this adopted and everything, it will be about a month or 2 for that physical final copy to come in, as well as the flash drive that has those digital copies along with it. But I'm here today to get that second process, and that was my paperwork.
So with that, I think we can open it for public comment.
Okay. At this time, we'll go ahead and open the podium for public comment, the public hearing portion of the comprehensive plan. If you would just come to the podium and state your name and address, and allow up to 2 minutes of comments per person. I'm not seeing anyone. There's There's nobody online is stepping up either, I don't think. So we can go ahead and close the public hearing portion of the public comment, and we'll move on to the resolution.
Correct, so Mr. Glancy put together a resolution. Part of this is the OCA required resolution, and then he also included language that are common in your resolutions. Do they have a copy of that, Mr. Glancy?
I sent you copies.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, they have copies.
We said we had an ordinance on Friday with said ordinance. This one's said resolution, the one you sent this morning. Is that the one you want us to use?
It's a resolution.
Yeah, this is a resolution, so we're just gonna go with a resolution.
And
Is
that's
there a
the one I
number?
printed.
Number 6. And we did receive certification from the area plan that this is a favorable recommendation with noted changes. And we're ready for resolution number 6, 2025, a resolution of the Grant County Board of Commissioners adopting the 2025 Grant County Comprehensive Plan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pulling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to adopt resolution number 6-2025. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Got one last comment, just to let Ms. Jarvis know, we'll get final invoices now, and then we'll send you an email asking for permission to draw down the remaining grant money. You'll respond back and we'll do that. And then, just for the record, I'd like permission to go ahead and start the closeout process for the OCA grant. There's some paperwork that Mr. Middlesworth has to sign.
That'd be fine. You need a motion? Yep. I appreciate your work and your team's work on getting our comprehensive plan updated. I mean, I was a part of the process. I appreciate all the members of the public, area plan, obviously, OCRA, for all they can do for us as well. And just, it's gonna put us, our right foot forward, I guess, when it comes to planning. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Not yet.
Okay, we'll move on to the next item under new business. Item number 2, I'm gonna remove it from the There's
16.
What is that?
16.
We'll move on to item number 3, the Sheriff's Department union contract. Mr. Harper, you wanna?
You could approve it pending my final review.
So the parties, the county council have negotiated the contract. They've already presented it to the county council at the last meeting between the sheriff's union. We're part of that contract as well, being as we provide the health insurance piece to those employees. And so I would recommend approving the contract for the sheriff's union pending Mr. Harker's final review.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Pulling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to approve the sheriff's agreement between the Grant County Sheriff's Department and the Grant County Commissioners and the Internal Union of Police Associations, local number 825. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 4 under new business, the county farm lease.
Mr. President, you have a draft of the county farm lease in your folder, but we have not yet met with the winning bidder to finalize and sign that. We plan to do that this week. So we just need to table that for now.
Or
Pass it.
can we pass it pending?
Him signing it?
Yes, you could. You can pass it pending finalization. I think the only thing that's left is the date, start date.
Dates and his signature.
And signature. So you could approve it.
I would have, I mean, are they year-end dates from,
It's a 3
Yes,
years.
it has 3 years, so it's just a matter of start date.
okay, so it'd be December.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to do a December start date, or
We can,
we can analyze it?
the
Okay,
contract can be approved after the start date, so you can make it effective in the past. So just table it and let us come back and
okay.
finalize those dates.
Is there a motion to table the farm lease agreement? So we finalize the date. Personally, I'm okay with this. Well, we could even give the commissioner authority to approve the dates. You know,
That's fine too, you can do either way.
it's up to you.
However you guys want to handle it.
If you want to table it, you, as president, you can just say this is table of this, but whatever. I'm okay with moving forward.
I'm fine either way, whatever.
I say first, get them signed, then they can work out the detail, right?
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
A second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Poling, a second from Commissioner Stewart to go ahead and approve the farm lease between the commissioners and the winning tenant, Mr. DeVore. We followed the process. We held a special meeting. We did receive bids. We accepted the bid of $270 per acre. This farm lease just finalizes the terms of the lease. And so we'll just go ahead and approve it pending his signature and that we agree to those dates. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 5 under new business, tax sale resolutions. Mr. Harper.
First resolution is to amend previous resolutions adopted on the Dana property. There's a number along somewhere in the 14-digit number, so asking to amend that resolution, so this would be resolution 7.
7.
So we have a resolution before us, number 7, 2025, amending resolution 3, 2025, identifying tax sale certificates to be pulled from the tax sale of the public. And Mr. Harper's already gave the reason why. Are there any questions from the members?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 7-2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve the resolution 7-2025. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right. The next resolution is for request of the city of Marion. They have asked to pull 124 South Booth Street from the tax sale. So this resolution accomplishes that. It says we're removing from the tax sale. And then the tax sale certificate is capable of being assigned at a later date. We've done that. This is we've done with both the Dana property and also properties for City of Gas City and for Jonesboro.
Are there any questions from the members? Resolution 8, 2025 is again a resolution identifying the tax sale certificates to be pulled from the tax sale for the City of Marion, which Mr. Harper, 124 South Booth Street.
Correct.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, I entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 8, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to approve resolution 8, 2025. Are there any other questions or comments from the members?
No, sir.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 6 under new business, the Assessor Rhonda Wylie with the PTABOA board appointments. She's been waiting patiently back there.
Hi, this is my annual meeting for the PTABOA hearing. It's Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeal members. Their members are good until December 31st, so as long as, if you want to advertise, it's fine, as long as we do it by the December meeting.
So the commissioners' appointments are Kelly Rock, which is a level 3 certification, and Judy Affolter, she's a level 3,
Correct.
and Richard Cox.
He is not. We have to have at least a level 3 on both sides, and I like to have an extra one just in case one of them can't be there.
And all 3 of our appointments are willing to serve?
Yep.
I don't see a reason changing
We
that.
did advertise last year and did not get one application. The council still may, and as long as they can do it by the December 1, it's fine.
Okay, I mean, do you want to wait till next meeting, or you want to go ahead and take action on those?
I'm okay with it.
All right.
If the chair's ready for a
I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Stewart, a second from Commissioner Poling to go ahead and approve the commissioners' appointments to the PTABOA board. Kelly Brock, Julie Fulter, and Richard Cox. Are there any other questions or comments? Sir. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And then we'll move on to item number 7 on our new business, Brad Bookout with the Grant County Redevelopment Commission.
I'll take care of that. On this number, you can come on up. Mr. President, we have Lindsay Hammond with Okra. She is our new representative covering Grant County, and I'll let her introduce herself and her role.
Yes, I'm Lindsay Hammond. I'm the Northeast Community Liaison for the Office of Community and Rural Affairs. In May, we went through some reshuffling of our regions and went from 6 to 5. And at that time, I acquired Grant County, Grant and Howard, actually. So I'm your new community liaison. I've been with Okra 7 months as of Friday, so I'm relatively new myself. I did have the opportunity to review and approve your comprehensive plan, so I was glad to be part of that. So Okra's vision is to work with Indiana communities to build relevant and economically thriving places where people want to live, work, and grow. We manage the CDBG funds for the state, and these are federal dollars that aim to support non-entitlement communities with various initiatives, such as water infrastructure projects, Main Street revitalization, public facilities, blight clearance, as well as planning grants, which you've taken advantage of recently. CDBG funding plays a crucial role in enhancing the quality of life in Indiana communities while ensuring health and safety for their residents. And so I'm your community liaison. I wanted to stop in and introduce myself and make sure that we have an opportunity to speak, hopefully after the meeting if possible. And if you guys want to take advantage of any of the opportunities that we have for assistance, I would be glad to assist you with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, on behalf of the commissioners, thank you for being here today and welcome, and hopefully that your face becomes familiar in our county and the dollars flow freely.
Yes.
And we'll be more happy to meet after the meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do the members have any other new business?
None for me.
We'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. Come to the podium, state your name and your address for the record, and allow 2 minutes per individual. Not seeing anyone jump up out of their seat, Mr. Brinkle?
Mark Brinkle, 5450 East, 550 North, Van. Just a brief comment to thank you commissioners for all the great accomplishments you have done up to this point that the Chronicle has not reported. The only thing, yes, they can report is some any things that come up, but I suggest that you have a public meeting and give a tour of all taxpayers of all the great accomplishments the commissioners have done in this short period of time. And I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Frankel. Yes.
John Lake, Marion, Indiana. I would also like to echo that comment. I think the area plan that was passed today, very strong on agricultural development. It took care of the solar issue, very strong on job creation and opportunity creation for this county. And near and dear to my heart, it also makes many statements that are very strong on tourism. So I appreciate all the thought and consideration that you put into that. Now let's just implement it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Not seeing any. Our next regular commissioners meeting will be Monday, November the 3rd at 10 a.m. and we'll be in recess until then. Thank you and have a great day.